Canto 9, entitled Liberation. You want liberation? Raise your hand if you want. No. That's a devote. Liberation, forget it. You don't want liberation? Okay. Well, automatically in devotional service and pure devotional service, liberation is there. We got to be careful that, with our understanding of liberation, it's not what we desire, it's not what we're working towards, but it's definitely something that's very valuable, right? Liberation from the material pangs. So chapter 1 is titled King Sudumna becomes a woman. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Kalashanji Radha Kalashanji Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devyam Sarasvatim Bhasyam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtapreya Shabreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Vigyantimarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurnanmritam Hena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Okay, so it looks like we don't have a screen today. I'll learn how to connect with my phone. I was thinking, Jaishnav, if you could think about maybe connecting with a phone and maybe doing this service. You're here, like you're the most regular person of us all. I was thinking maybe you can control the TV if you want. Okay, text 1, please.
King Parikshit said, My Lord Shukadeva Goswami, you have elaborately described all the periods of the various Manus, and within those periods, the wonderful activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who has unlimited potency. I am fortunate to have heard all this from you.
We're going to go to text 22. Jaishnav, will you do two verses each person? We're going to go clear to 22.
Satyavata, the saintly king of Dravida Desha, who received spiritual knowledge at the end of the last millennium by the grace of the Supreme, later became Vaivasvata Manu, the son of Vivaswan. In the next Manvantara period of Manu, I have received this knowledge from you. I also understand that such kings as Ikshwaku were his sons, as you have already explained.
O greatly fortunate Shukadeva Goswami, O great Brahmana, kindly describe to us separately the dynasties and characteristics of all those kings, for we are always eager to hear such topics from you. Kindly tell us about the abilities of the celebrated kings born in the dynasty of Vaivasvata Manu, including those who have already passed, those who may appear in the future, and those who exist at present.
Suta Goswami said, when Sri Shukadeva Goswami, the greatest knower of religious principles, was thus requested by Maharaj Parikshit in the assembly of all the scholars learned in Vedic knowledge, he then proceeded to speak. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O king, subdue whoever of your enemies. Now hear from me in great detail about the dynasty of Manu. I shall explain as much as possible, although one could not say everything about it, even in hundreds of years.
Transcending the supreme person as the supreme super soul of all living entities who are different states of life, high and low, existed in the end of the millennium, and neither manifested common nor anything him exist.
O King Parikshit, from the navel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead was generated a golden lotus, on which the four-faced Lord Brahma took his birth. From the mind of Lord Brahma, Marichi took birth. From the semen of Marichi, Kashyap appeared. And from Kashyap, by the womb of Daksha's daughter Aditi, Vivasvan took birth.
O king, best of the Bharata dynasty, from Vivasvan, by the womb of Samnya, Shradeva Manu was born. Shradeva Manu, having conquered his senses, begot 10 sons in the womb of his wife, Shraddha. The names of these sons were Ishvaku, Nriga, Saryati, Drishta, Karushka, Niryasyanta, Prashadra, Nabhaga, and Kavi. Manu at first had no sons. Therefore, in order to get a son for him, the great saint Vashishta, who was very powerful in spiritual knowledge, performed a sacrifice to satisfy the demigods Mitra and Varuna.
During that sacrifice, Shraddha, Manu's wife, who was observing the vow of subsisting only by drinking milk, approached the priest offering the sacrifice, offered obeisance to him, and begged for a daughter. Told by the chief priest, "Now offer oblation." The person in charge of oblations took clarified butter to offer. He then remembered the quest of Manu's wife and performed the sacrifice by chanting the word.
Manu had begun that sacrifice for the sake of getting a son, but because the priest was diverted by the request of Manu's wife, a daughter named Ila was born. Upon seeing the daughter, Manu was not very satisfied. Thus he spoke to his guru Vashishta as follows: "My lord, all of you are expert in chanting the Vedic mantras. How then has the result been opposite to the one desired? This is a matter for lamentation. There should not have been such a reversal of the results of the Vedic mantra."
You are all self-controlled, well-balanced in mind, and aware of the absolute truth. And because of austerities and penances, you are completely cleansed of all material contamination. Your words, like those of the demigods, are never baffled. Then how is it possible that your determination has failed? The most powerful great-grandfather Vashishta, after hearing these words of Manu, understood the discrepancy on the part of the priest. Thus he spoke as follows to the son of the sun god.
Whoever goes last, do the last three, please.
Okay. This discrepancy in the objective is due to your priest's deviation from the original purpose. However, by my own prowess, Shukadev Goswami said, Krishna made this decision. He
The Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mic's dead, so I'll just do it so that people on YouTube can hear. I appreciate it though. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, being pleased by Vashishta, gave him the benediction he desired. This Leela was transformed into a very fine male named Sadumna. Okay, so they're about to do a sacrifice. The king wants a son, right? But the wife comes up to the priest and kind of gives him a little nudge, says, I really want a daughter. So then when he's doing the sacrifice, who he's supposed to be doing it for the king, for a son, during the middle of it, he remembers the request by the wife, and he remembers that she wants a daughter. And so just from that moment of inattention, the priest, during the sacrifice, created a ceremony that produced a daughter. Okay? So we'll go to 9:117, okay? This is our focus verse. Bhagavan Kimidam Jatam. Bhagavan Kimidam Jatam. Karmavo Brahmavadinam. Karmavo Brahmavadinam. Viparyayam aho kastam. Viprayayam aho kastyam. Maivyam syad brahma vikriyaha. Maivyam syad brahma vikriya. Bolo. Bhagavan kimidam jatam. Karmavo brahmavadinam. Viprayayam aho kastam. Maivam sad brahma vikriya. Bhagavan kimidam jatam. Karmavo brahma vidam. Viprayamaho kastyam. Maivyam syad brahma vikriyaya. Word for word translation. Together, please, if you have. Bhagavan, O my Lord. Kim idam, what is this? Jatam, born. Karma, fruit of activities. Vaha, of all of you. Brahma vadinam, of you who are expert in chanting the Vedic mantra. Viprayam, deviation. Aho, alas. Kastyam, painful. Ma ivam syat, this it should not have been. Brahma vikriya, this opposite action of the Vedic mantra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My Lord, all of you are expert in chanting the Vedic mantras. How then has the result been opposite to the one desired? This is a matter of lamentation. There should not have been such a reversal of the result of the Vedic mantras. Purport. In this age, the performance of yajna has been forbidden because no one can properly chant the Vedic mantras. If Vedic mantras are chanted properly, the desire for which a sacrifice is performed must be successful. Therefore, the Hare Krishna chant is called the Maha Mantra, the great exalted mantra above all other Vedic mantras, because simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra brings so many beneficial effects, as explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shastika 1. Cheto darpana marjamamba mamaha davani nirvapanam Jaya karva chandrika vitaranam vidya vadu jivanam anandam buddhi vardhanam pradipadam purnamrita spadanam sarvatan stapidam param vichayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years. and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Therefore, the best performance of yajna given to us is the Sankirtan yajna. Agnya Sankirtan prayer yajanti hi sumedashaha. Bhagavatam 11:5-32. Those who are intelligent take advantage of the great yajna in the age of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in congregation. When the Hare Krishna mantra is chanted by many men together, the chanting is called Sankirtan. And as a result of such a yajna, there will be clouds in the sky. Yajna bhavati prayajanaha. In these days of drought, people can gain relief from the scarcity of rain and food by the simple method of Hare Krishna yajna. Indeed, this can relieve all of the human society. At present, there are droughts throughout Europe and America, and people are suffering. But if people take to the Krishna conscious movement seriously, if they stop their sinful activities and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all their problems will be solved without difficulty. In other processes of yajna, there are difficulties because there is no learned scholars who can chant the mantras perfectly well, nor is it possible to secure the ingredients to form yajna. Because human society is poverty-stricken and men are devoid of Vedic knowledge and the power to chant the Vedic mantras, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the only shelter. People should be intelligent enough to chant it. Yajna Sankirtan prayer, Yagnanti hi umedashaha. Those whose brains are dull cannot understand this chanting, nor can they take to it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll go the translation one more time. My Lord, all of you are expert in chanting the Vedic mantras. How then has the result been opposite to the one desired? This is a matter for limitation. There should not have been such a reversal of the results of the Vedic mantras. Hare Krishna. So, I heard Hanumat Prashak Swami once say that when you're reading Srila Prabhupada's books, you'll come across times where Srila Prabhupada talks and you feel like he's directly chastising you. For instance, when Srila Prabhupada talks about the Grihastas, and he's saying, you all are Grihamides, you should not, you abandon your life, your family life, and you should only chant Hare Krishna. And he talks about how sinful we are because you put your head down, right? Oh, Srila Prabhupada's talking to me. And then there's purports when, as a sannyasi, you're reading them, and you feel like Srila Prabhupada's, in the age of Kali, there's no sannyasis, and all the sannyasis are fallen, and he just goes off. And so the sannyasis look at this and go, oh, man. So similarly, in this situation, for myself, as somebody who does fire yajnas and rituals and ceremonies, I feel like Srila Prabhupada's chastising me. Srila Prabhupada's wagging his finger. You can't even chant mantras nicely. You can't chant them properly. Why are you doing fire yajnas? So it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I giggle a little bit, But this is the amazing thing of Srila Prabhupada. He's encouraging us that we go above and beyond what we think ourselves in this material world, in the sense of, I am a brahmana, I am a grihasta, I am a police officer, I am a priest, all these different identifications. He asks us to go above. He asks us to go beyond these identifications. I am not a this, I'm not a that, I'm this, I am simply a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so then we ask ourselves, the question might come in, Nanda Braja, if Srila Prabhupada is chastising you for doing fire yajnas, why do you still do them? Well, because I've been fortunate enough to have a little bit of understanding of what's called the Sankirtan movement. and the desire, the determination to help others to chant Hare Krishna. The other day, I had a devotee who wanted a car puja. And it's a little bit silly for us as devotees sometimes, a car puja, what the heck? But when they came, I started it off with, okay, first what we're going to do is we're going to clean the car up. We're going to take the inauspicious qualities out of the car. Like when you have a guest coming to your home, you clean up your home, right? So let's clean up the car. So we do these things. We throw water on it. We throw Ganges water on it, and we take this coconut and we pull out the auspiciousness, right? Now it's nice and clean. So now we have a picture of Lord Nrsingadev, and we put this picture of Lord Nrsingadev, and I tell the person, whoever it is, doesn't matter if they're devotee, I said, now that we clean up the car, now what we're going to do is we're going to set Lord Nrsingadev here and make sure that you get some blue tack and make sure that he stays with this car at all the time. And what we're going to do is we're going to greet him to the home, to the car. So then we do a puja, right? And so I asked them, I said, okay, now we clean the car, we asked Lord Nrsingadev to be here. Now every time you get into your car, you please look at Lord Nrsingadev and you thank him. Thank you, Lord Nrsingadev, for being here for me. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for taking all obstacles out of my way so that I can serve Krishna. And then, now that we have Lord Nrsingadev in your car and you are protected, then what we do is we put these limes on the wheels. And it's like, to me, it's this thing of like, now it's running over a lime is inauspicious in a way. It's not something you do, but it's showing victory, you know. So now we do this thing, it's kind of like, yeah, we did it, you know what I mean? And so, in this explanation about how we're doing this, every person, I'm encouraging them that please, whenever you get in your car, look at Lord Nrsingadev. Please understand he is with you, right? So over time, I've been fortunate enough to have a mentor that is able to explain to me that these activities are actually preaching. They're actually giving you an ability to share with people how actually things should be looked at. It's not that we're worshiping a car. It's that we have an opportunity to remember Krishna more. And then when we're doing it, of course, I encourage them to chant Hare Krishna, right? So, I mention these things because the encouragement as each individual is that is our service. Our service is twofold in that whatever we do, we chant Hare Krishna. We always chant Hare Krishna, no matter if we're doing Brahminical services or we're working at the office, or we're a doctor, or we're working in the nature, mowing a lawn, anything, we're chanting Hare Krishna. And we're always thinking about how we can spread this Sankirtan movement. When I first came here to Dallas, I was a bus driver. I drove bus, and I knew it wasn't my nature, but it was what I did to, make an income for the family, for that security, right? But by Srila Prabhupada's fortune, I kept on thinking about how I could share Krishna with others. And so through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, I started to do these different, mercy of my Guru Maharaj. First of all, I listened to Srila Prabhupada's lectures. When I was there, I was driving 10 hours a day on the bus. And so you just put those in, and man, it's like, I went through the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. I went through Bhagavad Gita a few times. It was pretty cool. But then my desire, not just for my benefit was not enough. I wanted to, how do I share Krishna with others? And so I had a Bhagavad Gita in my bus. I decided I'd have it there, and I'd find a way to give this book out. One guy walks onto the bus, and he starts telling me, he just starts sharing his heart. He says, this world is so tough. I'm really suffering. He's like, this isn't it. I have this feeling that like there's something, this world is just suffering, you know? And I mean, he was really just sharing his heart. So I listened to him, and I turned to him and I said, I agree with you. I said, I think that this material world is trying to encourage us that this isn't the place for us and that there's a better place to go. And he looked at me in the eyes, and I could, you know, when somebody hears you, you know what I mean? He looked at me and he said, paused for a second, he goes, I think you're right. And so he went and sat on the bus. And I thought, this person I must give this Bhagavad Gita to. So in a bus, in the city bus, you have a back door and a front door. And usually when you open it, a lot of people go out the back. So this time, he was in the back. I didn't open the back door on purpose. I was going to make him come through the front door. And he comes through, and I handed his, I said, hey, sir, I said, I really found that this book helped me so much in my life, and I'd like to give it to you, and maybe it will do the same for you. And he looked at it, he took it, and he went outside. And then a bunch of other people came in that I was doing tickets with. So boom, we're going to take off, right? And I looked at the side, I could see this movement out of the side of my eyes, and I look over, and here he is. He has the Bhagavad Gita held up like this, and he's pointing at it. And he's saying, and he's giving me a thumbs up. And I was like, wow, this is Krishna's arrangement. Like, how does this happen, you know? So that day I was thinking about how could I distribute Bhagavad Gita. So what I would do is I'd take Bhagavad Gitas and I would set them in my bus and I'd just leave them there and really pray to Krishna throughout it. Please let me. And so it was really funny. Sometimes people would come and they would steal it. They would think they were stealing it. And I would see them out the corner of their eyes and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, ha ha ha. You think you're stealing Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna's actually stealing you. And some people would say, hey, I've seen for a while now that this book has just been sitting here. Do you know whose it is? And I would say, I don't know, but it's been there for a while. I think it's yours. Why don't you take it? Really? Okay, and they would stuff it in their. And then, so these different things would happen, you know? And then there was this one boy I remembered. He asked me about it one time, and then a couple of times later, he was on my bus. He goes, you put these here, on, don't you? I said, yeah. And he says, so he started talking to me. He's like, I've been to the temple. Why? And I said, yeah, you know. He goes, why do you do this? And I said, well, you know, it's my opportunity to try to share something that's meant so much in my life. And, you know, some people grab it. So we have this conversation, you know. And it was just so nurturing, you know, because my nature really is to preach, you know what I mean? So it was like this was helping me in that nature, you know. And so then what I would do is I would grab these packages of peanuts, Planters peanuts. They would come individually. So I'd offer one package, and this was Hanumat Prashak Swami's encouragement. He would tell how he would hand these out. So I was like, I can do that on my bus. So I'd offer a package, and then sometimes I'd have the box out in my bus, and people would grab it. And sometimes I would keep it and I'd give it to people. And then sometimes I'd put the packages on the different bus stops. And every time I'd come back, sometimes I'd see the wrappers on the floor and stuff like that. So I'd go pick them up and throw them away. But it was prasadam distribution, you know? Okay. So my encouragement to you all is that this Maha Mantra is meant, I heard Gopal Krishna Maharaj said this once. He said the Maha Mantra purifies our intelligence. And I was like, when I heard this, I was like, what? I was like, purifies our intelligence? No, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is like, you know, it's transcendental and it's a, you know, a relationship with Krishna. But I had to think about it. You know, I really appreciate Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I was thinking about it. And eventually over time, and I still meditated, it's purifying our intelligence that we are devotees of Krishna, that we're not this body, that we're spirit soul, and our only duty is to, you know, serve the Supreme Personality. That's why we chant Hare Krishna. It says Harinam and Harinama Eva Kevala. In this translation, it says the mantra is the only means of our deliverance. The only means, only way, the only way, the only way. And we're trying to become delivered from this material suffering, right? So we chant Hare Krishna. I'm a servant of Krishna, and I'm a servant of the servant of the servant, and I'm a servant of Srila Prabhupada. And what is more dear to Srila Prabhupada than anything is this Sankirtan movement. He wants us to spread Krishna consciousness. He wants us to share Krishna with others. Not only does he, but Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone that shares me with others is very dear to me. And so we should chant Hare Krishna, and we should really rack our brain about how to get involved in the Sankirtan movement. I don't care if we are doctors. I don't care if we are lawyers. I don't care if we are bus drivers. I don't care if we should think about how we can share Krishna with others. And Srila Prabhupada has given us so many ways to do that. If anybody wants to quit their job and likes to cook, bake, and wants to distribute prasadam, please talk to me. I literally have an idea. I have so many ideas where you could make money and you don't have to work in an office. You could distribute prasadam. It's an idea called good karma cookies, and you package these cookies individually, and you get a subscription-based order of people. But basically, the idea is that you buy these cookies not to eat, but you buy these to give to other people. Good karma, right? But we know they're prasadam and they go above karma. So there's a package of 24 cookies, and you take them to the office, and they're individually packed so that nobody freaks out, you know what I mean? And so you give them to your boss, you give them to your coworkers, and then when you're driving down the road and you have somebody on the side of the road that's begging for money, you go, oh, here's a cookie, you know? And it'll be subscription-based. And so every month, people will buy, 2 packages and stuff like that. Anyways, I don't know where I went there. But my point is we should be racking our brain to figure out about how we can intertwine our work to Sankirtan, right? I ask a question now to devotees quite often. If you had all the freedom, if you had all of the resources or resourcefulness, and you had all the support, what would you do for your life? What would you do? And there's 3 different answers. Some people say, I don't know. And if you don't know, then definitely what you're doing is probably not it, right? So then rack your brain about what you should do. If your answer is, I would do the same thing I'm doing, then find people that are like-minded, that are doing the same service, that you can encourage each other to grow and proliferate, spread what you're doing. And then if your answer is, well, I know what I do, but I'm not doing it, then work very diligently to find somebody and some people that can give you the support, the resources, and the freedom to move towards that. Because when in Maya, these things that we would want to do, we think they're I would like to do this. But when we understand as devotees that it's actually the desire for Krishna, then we can understand that this is actually Krishna's desire for us. Let me explain that a little bit different. When I dream of what I could do, what I could be, what I could do for Srila Prabhupada, I might get embarrassed because I think this is about me, but this is Maya. If you shift it a little bit and understand that desire comes from Krishna, and he's the gifts that he wants you to give, that's the service that he wants from you, then you understand that this is my nature. This is my duty. This is my battlefield of Kurukshetra. If you answer in these 3 questions, if you have the freedom, the resources, and the support to do whatever you want, and you're not doing it, to some degree, we're in the forest. We've retreated to the forest and are chanting Hare Krishna. But Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, no, Arjun, your duty is you're a warrior. Go fight. So if you can find an answer in there, in that question, what would you do? You can understand that that's your battlefield of Kurukshetra. That's your duty. That's your service. And I'm encouraging you all to chant Hare Krishna and think about and pray to Srila Prabhupada. Please, I want to do this Sankirtan movement. Please help me. Please bring me forward in that service. And if you make your choice to do this, you will live an amazing life of miracles that happen over and over and over again. And your chanting will get better and better and better, because you see Krishna in your life so much. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, please, you don't do other people's services perfectly. You do your service even if imperfectly. Do you know why? There's many different reasons, but the reason that I'll explain here in this talk is because when you are doing your service and you make mistakes, when do we grow the most as people? When we're succeeding and everything's going good? Nope. You grow the most in your progress and your service when you make mistakes and when you come through difficulties. So when you're doing your duties and you're taking the risk that I'm going to give up my identification as this and this and this, I'm going to run, I'm going to sprint, I'm going to unapologetically move towards my service to Krishna, you're going to have some difficulties. Maya's going to test you. She wants to make sure, do you really want this? Do you really want it? Do you really want it? You're going to have some difficulties. But you're going to grow so much when you stay persistent and resilient. I am going to do this. There's nothing that's going to stop me. I will go through walls if I have to. Please, Maya, be nice to me. Please help me. And this is the Sankirtan movement. This is why in this age, this is the sweetest of all sacrifices. So I was explaining to you that some of my experiences in this, I don't do fire yagyas for the fire yagya. I do it because it's an opportunity to chant Hare Krishna. And I know some people are attached to the rituals, but as a priest, a Vaishnava priest, I get to preach to them, explain what the real purpose of this is. The real purpose of this fire yagya is an offering from our heart to Krishna in a certain way. We get to do this, we get to chant mantras, and trust me, I know that when I'm chanting the mantras, I'm not doing it correctly, like the verse is saying. But I know that if I do it with sincerity, then Krishna will preserve what I have and he'll make up for what I lack in the yagya. And so I just do my duty. If I get asked to do a fire yagya, I do it. I say, this must be Kalashanji's mercy. I'm being asked. I've been trained in it. My mentor is telling me to do it. Therefore, I do it. And I sit there and I try to act. And I try to not just act. I try to really pull that I am, representing Krishna and the Guru. Anyways, I'm representing in this fire yagya. So I put on a face of sincerity and seriousness, and I do the best I can. So similarly, what I'm trying to say is that when you're doing your duty, you probably have also things that come in your back mind of doubts and shortcomings and this and that. But stop. Krishna put you in this situation, so let's put on a face of we are a Sankirtan devotees, and we are encouraging anyone to chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna will provide you the opportunity, right? So a few classes ago, I was talking about how Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Paramahamsa is always thinking about how to spread Krishna consciousnesses all around the world. Raise your hand if you want to stay a Kanishta Adhikari. Nobody? I agree with you. Let's not stay as Kanishta. Let's boldly try the best we can to follow in the footsteps of the Paramahamsa. I it's going to be embarrassing thinking about how we can spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. I know. We're so small when we see Srila Prabhupada and think about how he did. But we want to move from the Kanishta platform and we want to make progress. And so, in the footsteps of the pure devotee, we say, I am going to, no matter what, develop an attitude where I want to help Srila Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And you know what happens? Have you ever had an experience when you buy a new car? And when you look on the road, you see your car everywhere? Oh, there's my car. Oh, there's my car. There's a reason why that happened. If you unapologetically, being resilient in thinking about how to help spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, you know what happens? All of a sudden you start seeing opportunities to spread Krishna consciousness. And then You might go through your life and you go, oh, there was an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. I missed it. Good. Next time you do it, you're going to do it. And even if you don't do it, you keep on thinking about that. Because at least you got the opportunity to recognize the opportunity. And by the way, Krishna accepts whatever we do in our mind even. That's how. So if you think, next time I could offer that person a prasadam cookie, next time I could tell them about chanting Hare Krishna, you know what happens? Krishna accepts that. Isn't that amazing? You just became a preacher without even doing the thing physically. Krishna will accept it. You know, eventually what happens is you start to do it. First, you recognize the opportunity. Second, you might recognize the opportunity that you missed. And third, it starts happening. Oh, I did find the way to chant, to share Krishna consciousness. I have a picture on my computer at work of Krishna, and some people ask me eventually about who's that? And I say, that's Krishna. Who's Krishna? He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada says, that answer is the perfect preacher. Boom, lost. Oh, well, what about him? I just know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know, if you have some interest in stuff, read this Bhagavad Gita. Leave me alone. I'm just kidding. And then they're like, what? You have to tell me. We go, okay, fine, I'll tell you. Obviously, you're very, very due diligent and very much want to hear about my Krishna. To some degree, we get to a attitude as devotees that we want to protect our Krishna, right? We want to make sure people are sincere. I don't want you coming to my Krishna and trying to steal from him. I want to make sure you're sincere. If you're going to play with my Krishna, make sure that you really want him instead of him. Anyways, Hare Krishna. 825. I've gone over a little bit. By the way, one of the things that we will talk about at the Srimad Bhagavatam meeting is maybe giving a little bit more time for Srimad Bhagavatam and adjusting some time, maybe give 5 or 10 more minutes. Anyways, if you have some feedback on that, please come and give your feedback. Any questions, comments, thoughts, desires, corrections? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
The Srimad Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita are different books spoken thousands of years away from one another. But they seem to have the same conclusion. So, isn't Bhagavatam a different time, place, and circumstance? Or is it meant for Kali Yuga? And does it run into Lord Chaitanya's teachings?
Sometimes it seems like that, huh? Like, wait a minute, how does Srimad Bhagavatam, how's that, how is it practical in my life right now? There's an amazing thing that happens in our Srimad Bhagavatam as devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Is that we have Srila Prabhupada's purport. And Srila Prabhupada's purport puts perspective to Srimad Bhagavatam about the circumstance of here, time, place, and circumstance. And so that's the mercy of our gurus, our disciplic succession, is that the things that we can't understand practically of time, place, and circumstance, we have these pure devotees who give us the right perspective. One thing that's going on really amazing right now is, that's really interesting to me, is that Srila Prabhupada says some pretty strong things in the Bhagavad Gita, and sometimes we don't know how to share that. We get concerned about how to share this with others, and this world is getting pretty conservative in one way, and really talking about these points that Srila Prabhupada has mentioned 50, 60 years ago. And it's a little bit interesting. The thing is that we're not conservative liberals, but we have a pure devotee who's given us the right perception of how to preach Krishna consciousness. And so, Srila Prabhupada's teachings are very relevant in these days. That's what I'm trying to say. I should stick to that. Hare Krishna. What do you think, Prabhu? No? Nothing? Hare Krishna. Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Not so much of a question unless I can think of one. But I always enjoy hearing your stories of your bus driving and leaving the book. And I think, just if every devotee did that at their work, that we'd have a very active Sankirtan endeavor. So I'm always inspired to hear about that story. And how we can seemingly turn something mundane into spiritual. Everyone has their own part they can play in the mission. So,
the Sankirtan idea it's called the One Book Club. And each Sunday, we have people sign up to get one book a month. And you take this book, and you please just leave it somewhere. For 1 month, you have one book, and just please, you don't have to sell it to somebody. You don't. Just please figure out, leave it at your doctor's appointment or this or that. Okay, then people, you might say, one book a week. And you take one, each Sunday they come, and they take one book a week. Please, you just leave this somewhere. You're in an Uber, you put it down. And just, pray to Krishna, you please, I know that you'll find the hands, the hands of somebody. One time, Hanumat Prashak Swami, I made a flyer for a festival, and I showed it to him. And he said, Krishna's arranging right now somebody to get that flyer. And I kind of laughed, silly and stuff like that. And he looked at me very seriously. He said, no, that's how it works. I'm serious. And it was one of those moments where it pierces your heart and go, wow, so that just one sentence was so much instruction, that if I'm sincerely trying to share Krishna with others, Krishna starts to arrange things. Krishna magic, right? And so, okay, so once a week. And then eventually some people, one a day. You come on Sunday, here's 7 books, please, once a day try to get one. And anyways, Krishna Juna. Sankirtan devotees. I Tuta Govinda. I don't have the capacity to take this service up, but I'm putting it out in the ether. One book club. Take through the Prabhupada's book. Then the wonderful thing about this is we get to meditate on the Prabhupada's book. Purification. Any other comments, thoughts? Hare Krishna. Please, I'm sorry, we have people on YouTube that get very anxious, and I agree with them that they don't hear comments. No, it's okay. No, it's not. Sometimes it takes a little bit.
Is it working now?
There we go, yes.
Okay. Just a request. Sometimes when we're coming to Bhagavatam class, we're not always on time. And so would we be able to have some way of just marking the chapter, the canto, the chapter, and the verses that we're going to be reading? I know sometimes I'm not always on time, so rather than disturb other devotees, it's nice to have something displayed, even if it's not electronic. The TV's not, or the TV screen's not always running. I don't know if we can add it to one of the screens near the altar. We've got those large screens that have Mahamantra and then the different bits of information on the. I don't know if we're able to put the canto, the verse, and if not, even a dry erase board. This is for the meeting.
if you're a little bit late, you don't know what
Yes.
we're talking about. So if
Yes,
something
yes,
was
yes.
printed or something was on there that says, "Oh,
Yes.
what," you could.
The
Okay.
canto, the verse. Canto chapter.
I think it's a
and verse.
wonderful idea.
Just so that, because I hate to disturb anyone.
No, I hear you.
But we
My
want to
only
participate.
concern is that when we have these things, we have to have people that do it. But let's that's definitely one of my notes that I'll have for our Srimad Bhagavatam meeting.
And it could be just like the dry erase board for whoever's doing the class before they begin, or whoever's planning the class. I don't know if we can have it on these electronic.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That
screens.
every week the Srimad Bhagavatam class schedule's up there, and it would show the verses like that. Great
Yeah.
idea.
So I don't know if there's an easy way to transfer that information, just so we don't disturb anybody else, and we can still keep up if we're not here at the beginning when the chapter.
By the way,
is announced.
one thing I'm going to do is, this isn't to say that I think that's a really good idea. One thing I'm going to do is we're going to create a Srimad Bhagavatam community, and so what can happen is the speakers and the verses will be put on there and pinned, and also people can ask questions. Our talk, Sam, Sam, relax. People can talk about Srimad Bhagavatam in that community.
That would
And
be
I'm hoping
excellent.
that we can get some way that people who watch on YouTube can message and ask questions just from their homes.
That's
one thing
amazing.
that we're trying
That
to
would
add
be
to.
incredible.
So if you have ideas like this, we have a meeting. I'm going to plug one more time. On the 4th of October at 9 a.m. It's a Saturday. Basically, it's 8:30. We finish, go eat some breakfast and stuff, and then come up to the darshan room, and we can share some of the ideas that we're going to be doing for Srimad Bhagavatam and getting feedback like this. So please come. If you're a regular attendee and or you have some kind of desire from Srimad Bhagavatam, please come and put input. This is your chance.
Thank you for a wonderful class program.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. The Sankirtan movement, the basis, which is to share, chant the Hare Krishna mantra and Maha mantra and share it with others, is the heart of our movement. Please, I remember, I'll say one more thing. I remember when I was trying to figure out some things in my life, I had some people that really inspired me, and I would ask them to mentor me, and it was really embarrassing. I got to be honest with you. Like if you to ask somebody, you really put yourself out there, you know. And they were always so kind, though. They would say, let's develop our relationship and see how it works. And most of those people, it didn't work like that. But eventually I found somebody who helped me to see things like how to increase my Sankirtan. And so I'd like to encourage everybody, please find somebody who is that mentor which knows you personally, that really encourages you to move towards your Sankirtan, that really pushes you to grow, which pushes you to progress. And if you pray to Srila Prabhupada and to Krishna and be patient, you will find somebody, he will provide that for you. And be ready to live a life of adventure. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bo, Vanchakal Patrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyevcha, Patitanam Bhavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Antikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Oh, by the way, one thing is if you another idea, if you're an office person, get these flowers. We have all these flowers around the temple that are offered to Krishna at some point in Tulsi Mamani. Take them to work and have people smell them.
me.